Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of the Richard Lewis Show. Sam didn't say 0 this time, got the count right, didn't fuck with the count. And yeah, we were listening to some fucking banging tunes just there.
Smoking ganja weed.
Let me tell you, man, that's one of the things that I love about Rastafarians. You know, a long time ago, regular viewers know this shit, but I used to work on a radio station. You know, where we just had a show and we just play music and, you know, read shit. And it was called the Quantum Rug Traders, and it was on a local Birmingham radio station. And it was owned by Rastafarians, right? And they used to come in and they were smoking heavy duty green.
Oh yeah.
And I have never seen anyone so enthusiastic at the prospect of smoking weed, like all the time. Even though they do it every day, it's always an exciting, you know, that's what it's
still always good, yeah. Still always special.
Yeah, always
still
special,
always appreciate it.
And that guy in that video just sums that up, doesn't he? We're smoking weed! Fucking loves it, mate. He just loves it. He just wants to smoke that weed all the time. Yeah, good to see. Anyway, look, man, there's so much to fucking get into for this show. The planet is fucked. Everyone is still crazy. We're not any closer to curing these fundamental problems. We got all sorts going on, you know, crazy people in esports and shit. Like, the whole thing's a fucking nightmare. But look, let's start with a bit of fun. Let's start with something I enjoy, which is giving. I love to give. I live to give.
So you're all going to donate us $10, and we're going to watch some money come in.
No, obviously we got t-shirt giveaways to do. 2, in fact, Sam.
2 t-shirt giveaways. I know, we're going to have to slow down once we get to 500, mate. I'm going to be fucking dry now, all these t-shirts. We didn't do the maths on this, mate.
It was your idea.
Yeah, no, it's alright. It's not bad. It's just effort. It's alright.
All right, we'll figure it out. So for anyone who is new, basically, as you can see, we got a sub target down at the bottom. Each time we go past the landmark, we give away one of our merchandise t-shirts to a sub. Well, not always actually, because we do rig it slightly in favor of the subs, but Twitch conditions mean everybody who watches has to be eligible for a giveaway. So subs have a slightly higher value. Like, what was it, 6 times? Six times is like.
Last time, yeah.
But I think we've only given them away like 2 subs.
Yeah, it's usually just random people who win.
So, and it's definitely not rigged. We definitely don't own those accounts. We're not running some phantom type shit all up in.
Be that arsed to send a t-shirt.
I know, just to fucking get out.
Hell.
So we got 2 roles to do.
Yeah. So everyone type in the chat. All you got to do is write Summit. What subscriber luck we're gonna give them drive.
By that you mean something, not Summit 1G or anything.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna give you Summit.
Yeah. That means something. So just type in the chat. Yeah. See, now people are typing Summit. You idiot. Like,
all right, Summit, whatever. Give a Summit giveaway. Why not? We'll take his name. Don't say us.
1G. I'm smoking ganja weed. Right, so we'll.
What subscriber luck am I giving?
6 times.
6 times.
6 times.
7?
Right, last time.
We can go 10.
No. 6 will do it. 6 will do it.
I'll wait a little bit. Give
6 is that's reasonable. That new German movie.
That's reasonable.
Yeah, let's do that.
We're at 200 entries. How many people are watching? 500. Oh, hurry up, and I'll give you a bit longer.
Oh, what? We got to wait to 500 entries?
No. I'm not going to wait for 500 people. But if there's 500 people, I'll wait until at least half. I'll give them a 250.
250.
Right. 10 more seconds. You waste our VOD's time, yeah? What is that?
That's the bit in the background. It's rapping. So I'm still listening. Go to the shadow here. Forgot to turn my light on. Or was that
10 more people. 7 more people. 6. Come on. 5. As soon as I hit 250, I'm drawing. 246 rather. 4 more. 2 more. Come on. 1 more. There we go. 250. Rolling. The winner is RE1992, and he is not a sub. He's ratted you again, mate. He's fucking done you.
That's a bullshit account.
Alright, for the next one, we do like 10 times. Well, he's got a picture of his head, to be fair, like.
Has he?
Yeah.
Can we have a look at his head? Can we have a look at his head? Can we just bring up his head?
Sure. Hang on.
You are the headmaster, mate. Come on. I just want to have a look at him. I want to see what kind of person creates an account with such a terrible name.
Well, it's just RE 1992.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
How do I see his head in large ways? How do I view his head large ways?
I don't know, mate. I'm not a master.
I'll just go to the website and I'll just show you that he has indeed got an head. Like, there we go.
Yeah.
See, that's his little head. See his little head? Right, there we go.
Big fan of his little head.
One more to do anyway.
Yeah, let's go on. Yeah.
Right, we got 267. Oh, by the way, message me RE1992 on Twitch.
Yeah.
Send me your name, address, what t-shirt you want, what size, and that's it, mate. All right, rolling again.
It's rolling in.
Oh wait, where's the roll button? Oh yeah, roll again. There we go. Hey, it was a sub.
Right.
Digny Monk. There you go, mate. The monk has won a t-shirt.
Big Knee Monk.
Digny Monk.
Oh, right.
Digne. Is that Digny?
I thought it was
Dine?
I thought it was just like
the G.
Oh, right. Yeah, I thought it was like a fucking monk with a big knee.
Big kneed monk.
Yeah, a big kneed monk, like just fucking giving you the Shaolin to the temple, you know.
Alright, you message me on Twitch the same. If you don't message me, you ain't getting a t-shirt, don't complain.
Right.
Your job, not mine.
Yeah, it's on you. Right, so there you go. So, Sam, what you been up to anyway, last few days? I understand you've been under the weather, mate.
Yeah. Bit of a tough ache, like. Kind of burrowed me out for a while, but other than that, I was alright.
Yeah? Nothing else? You haven't been going to pieces? No other diseases you want to share with the group?
Oh, I have been coughing a lung up, like, every day of my life. I forgot what you were leading on to. Yeah, definitely been coughing a lung up every day of my life.
Oh, not leading on to anything.
Oh, right. I thought you were asking, like, for like, come on.
No, I'm not. There's no bit coming. There's no material. Just genuinely concerned about my producer, you know, and might have to get a new one lined up, you know. Not that, of course, you're replaceable or anything, but just like to monitor your health on the show. So, look, dude, where the fuck should we start? Because there's so much gone on since the last show, and it's just all crazy, mate. It's just all crazy. Tell you what, why don't we start with some prime time Let's start with some prime time And I'm going to double trigger bitches because I'm going to use an InfoWars link. So if you're that, obviously I know the mentalist who went, you retweeted a retweet of an InfoWars tweet, therefore you are Alex Jones and think Sandy Hook was fake. Right? That if you're that guy, because I know obviously you're mad obsessed with everything I do and say, like the haters never go away. You get new fans all the time. The haters are the most loyal fans you ever have. I know you're watching, so it's going to mad trigger that bitch. So that's great. So anyway, right, you know that Disney has this, like Disney World has this ride, right? Well, not a ride, but like an exhibit, I guess would be the way to put it, where it's called the Hall of Presidents. And you know who goes in the Hall of Presidents, don't you, Sam?
Presidents.
Yep, you got it in one, mate.
Nice.
And you know who Donald Trump is, right?
Not my president.
No, yeah, hashtag not my president, of course. But hashtag is your president. Yeah, hashtag is though. So Donald Trump basically is in there, right? Now, first of all, I just want to start by showing you a picture, actually, of the Donald Trump robot. Now, far be it from me to suggest they might have missed the mark a little bit with his likeness here. I mean, does that look like Donald Trump to you?
Everything but the face, like. Like, if you didn't show me the face, I might have guessed it.
Yeah, you're right. They have nailed the fucking... hang on, let me find. I'm going to tell you exactly what it does look like, though. They have nailed the fucking body, right? They've got that. But just look, right? Yeah, you know Angelina Jolie's dad, John Voight, great actor. You know, was in Anaconda.
Right.
No, he's been in some good movies. I'm just fucking with you. Right, just have a look at this compared to the Donald Trump robot.
Oh, he looks a bit like fucking, what's his name? This cunt.
All right,
Why can't I think of his name? The guy who speaks weird. You know, what fucking film is he in? Christopher Walken.
Oh, right. Yeah, maybe touch of that going on, but definitely the John Voight and the fucking Donald Trump animatronic. It's terrifying. You will never see. You're not going to see them in the same room. I reckon John Voight is just doing that on the weekends. All right, he just goes, yeah. He's just like, well, can't get work no more, so I'm just gonna go and fucking be the Donald Trump animatronic. Like, why the fuck not, right? So anyway, obviously Donald Trump, as president, went into the Hall of Presidents at Disney World, and a lot of people had a problem with this, which is bizarre in and of itself. There were legitimately people trying to pressurize Disney World, an American publicly traded corporation, from not having the current president in their Hall of Presidents. I know it's retarded.
Imagine, mate. What creases me is just imagine that is just so big of a part of your day that you're writing emails to Disney. No, Trump shouldn't be in there. Who cares? Yeah. He's the fucking president, bruh.
Yeah. Well, there was people. I mean, there's some people on Twitter. I didn't keep the tweets, but I remember because I was following the furor about this. There were even some people saying if Disney had any respect, they would put Hillary in there. So you would put someone who definitely.
What are you on about?
Yeah, there are people out there.
If you had any respect, you'd lie to the world in history and say someone else won. Why would I ever do that? Why would that ever be the truth? Why would that happen?
Because Disney obviously have a chance to fix history. It's like, in all of these Hillary Clinton cultist lives, they all sit around and they all watch Back to the Future, right? And they're all hoping for that moment where Doc Brown bursts in and goes, "Nobody verified Twitter journalist. We've got to go back to the future. Trump wins. We got to go back and actually vote instead of smoking weed because we're students and we don't vote." Right? We've got to fix it, Marty. Hillary Clinton wins in this utopian world. No, it doesn't work like that. So what they were doing was they wanted to fucking make it so, Donald Trump wasn't in there. And of course, Donald Trump has to be in there because he's the motherfucking president and it's the Hall of Motherfucking Presidents. So anyway.
Mate, I'm sorry to tell you, even if history is bad, even if he was the most evil man ever to be born, which he ain't, but if he was, you should still have him in there. That's kind of the point of history, so you don't forget.
Yeah, I know. It's like I say. I mean, it's kind of like, I'm always loath to bring Hitler to the table. I'm always loath.
That's what I mean.
It's lazy. It's lazy and stupid. It's lazy and stupid, and the mainstream media have been comparing everybody they don't like to Hitler ad infinitum. But let's just forget any comparisons. There was a guy called Hitler. Hitler did some bad shit. Why don't we just erase him from history then? Why don't we just forget all about Hitler? Forget he ever existed. Forget all the atrocities he committed. Forget that. Let's just pretend he doesn't exist, and then the world's a better place, right? Why don't we just do that? Why don't we just do that for Stalin? Pick a dictator.
Yeah.
Let's go. Not Idi Amin. Not him.
Have you seen
he's my favorite dictator.
The new Dave Chappelle specials on
which one? Didn't he drop two? Yeah. So I watched the stand-up one, not the sit-down small show. I watched the one he did in Washington.
Was that the one where he talks about the civil rights movement and how?
Right.
That's what I mean. That's like a perfect.
And then
example.
I kicked her in the pussy.
Yeah,
that one. Yeah.
When he was saying how like a child was killed, and even though it was a murder and how horrendous it was, it led to all these amazing events. That's kind of the point of history: is you learn from the history. Although bad things happen in history, good can come from those bad things.
Yeah, I mean, like, I was brought up with there was posters everywhere. When I was young, those who don't learn from history are doomed to repeat its mistakes. That's what we were always told back before frothing leftists took over academia. So, but yeah, I mean, the argument has always boggled my fucking mind. Like, if we just erase everyone who ever did anything bad from history, I hate to break it to you, there wouldn't be much to fucking talk about. That's just the reality of it. So. But anyway, so let's go back and let's bring up InfoWars so we can see Alex Jones. Alex Jones. Today, I interview Alexa for the second part of a triptych of interviews. Alexa, we've proven you with the CIA, you know. So Alex Jones is there. But this is the protest. There's a video of it. 'Cause Paul Joseph Watson did this story. And just watch this video, mate. This'll blow your motherfucking mind. This guy, keep in mind, this is a children's theme park where they're supposed to be learning about the rich history of America, its presidents, its leaders, and you've just got some absolute fucking cretin just doing this while you're at Disney World with your children. So anyway, we'll 3, 2, 1 it. It's 2 minutes and 20 of sheer cringe. It's got a slow build up. But just let me know when you're ready, Sam.
I need the link, bro. Where is that?
I gave you the InfoWars link.
Well, it's in the big chunk.
Yeah.
Resend it. I got him.
There you go. Sorry.
I got him.
I thought I keep forgetting your memory span took a battering for some reason.
There's loads of links about that, mate. What do you want me to do? Fucking scroll? Mental?
Yeah. Can't have a scroll. Right, so.
This little Twitter video.
Yeah. This little Twitter video. That's it, with 341,000 views.
None of them monetized. Fuming. Right. 3, 2, 1, go.
M. Nixon.
Nixon's in there for fucking.
Gerald R. Ford. Jimmy Carter.
Oh, I'm just waiting, like.
Ronald Reagan.
Oh, God.
George Bush.
Oh, God, it's coming. No one boosts for George Bush, like.
Bill Clinton.
Or Slick Willie.
George W. Bush.
Nah, everyone loves him.
Barack Obama.
Look at him shaking. He knows it's coming. Big pause for Barack Obama, of course.
Now we come to the present. Once again, we place our trust in the idea of a president, as we have from the beginning.
My fellow citizens, no event could have filled me with greater anxieties than that notification on the 14th day of April 1789 that you had selected me to lead our nation. But it was with the confidence of my fellow citizens that I took an oath. 35 simple words that have been repeated by every American president throughout history.
So beautiful.
I, Donald John.
Lock him up!
Oh, you're mentally ill.
Lock him up! Lock him
You're
up!
mentally ill. Everyone's even telling you shut up. Surely you must have the sense of shame. You must be able to feel shame.
Lock him up! Lock him up! Lock him up!
Oh, what is he doing, but...
Lock him
Oh
up!
my God.
Lock him up!
Oh my God. Oh my God, mate.
Right, mate. Still going. Still going.
Oh my God.
Lock up the robot.
It's a fucking robot saying words. And it's made your box go.
Lock him up!
Oh my fucking God.
Lock him up! Lock him up!
You're mental.
Hold it.
Literally everyone is telling you to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm with my kid. Can you shut up? Like, no one cares. They don't even know who Trump is.
Not only do you cause like a fucking incident at Disney World, while parents are there with their children in an exhibit that is aimed at children,
No.
you know, why? I mean, first of all, and look, I don't want to labor the point for cheap laughs. It is a robot, right?
Definitely is.
And I don't know if you want to send the robot to robot prison or whether there's a different prison. I don't really know why you want to lock up a robot. But anyway, the protester, said in the tweet, his pinned tweet on his Twitter account, which we can also take a look at if you want. The Twitter is called currently Earnest Gay Thoughts. Here it is. And you can see he says, I protested.
You didn't protest nothing. You shouted at a fucking robot in a fucking children's play hall. That is what you have done. You screamed at the top of your lungs at a fucking robot.
Right. Good.
Absolute mess.
Yeah. Oh, he is a mess. So he says, I protested Donald Trump at the Hall of Presidents because I'll never get this close in real life, probably. Well, not now, no.
I mean,
no,
number one, again, that's just not real. That isn't him. As much as you think it kind of looks like him, believe it or not, it's not him.
You know what I mean, though? Just like, this cunt is on a list. I hope it was worth it, you fucking absolute moron. And just the justification for it in the replies to the tweet are hilarious. Like, someone points out, Disney World's a private park and there's a set of guidelines and standards to ensure guests have a good experience. That video is disgusting and immature. Families trying to enjoy their vacations, not listen to you and your friends shouting ridiculous things. You are yelling at an animatronic. Yikes. To which he replies, DIS is a publicly traded company.
So you don't even understand the difference between public and private places, then, do you?
Yeah,
But I can buy a stock, therefore I can scream at robots. That seems reasonable to me.
Then somebody said, I can't imagine how scared and confused some of those children were. He says, probably more scared than the children being taken away from their parents due to Donald Trump's inhumane immigration policies, or more scared than a trans kid who fears getting murdered for who they are, or a sick child who has just lost access to healthcare, which, none of these things are happening, are they? None of these things are happening. So, also as well, I think there was an interview because, hashtag the resistance, they like to make heroes out of these people. So they actually I think they interviewed, was it over at the Wrap? Was the interview? I think so. So, yeah, here you go. So the Wrap decided what they wanted to do. Right. I mean, look, whatever your personal politics, right? And I know I get a lot of heat for this on this show. They always go, why don't you laugh at any of the right-wingers? I do. Obviously, you conveniently forget that. But we just did a stream just the other day where I completely wrecked Ben Shapiro's latest video for PragerU, which was frankly fucking embarrassing. Did you see that one, Sam?
No, I didn't.
He goes, the pro premise of the video was, TV has messages contained within it.
Yep.
Yeah, we know. All art does, yeah. Congrats.
Yep.
Yeah, well done, Ben. You intellectual powerhouse. It was really embarrassing. I'm going to chop that and put it up on the YouTube channel. But anyway, but there is something very hilarious about what the leftists do and how just all fucked up in the head they are. So I'm sorry. Stuff like this does entertain me, and I do find it amusing, and I do think it's ripe for ridicule. Now, what I wouldn't do with people like this, because I don't think it represents all liberals. A worrying amount of them, sure, but not all liberals by any stretch of the imagination. I might even go so far as to say not even the majority. I'll give you that. But I don't know why all these leftist publications, when they see something like this, what I would do, if I was the editor of a leftist publication, I would just come out and be like, I'd be writing the same piece as the right-wing websites write about this stuff. Because then I would be like, look, we totally disassociate from these guys.
Yeah.
That's what I would. But they never do. It's always weird.
It's because it's identity politics at this point. No one can just concede because it's like you're personally losing something. It's like you're giving up a personal loss when it's just someone who's mentally ill who kinda is on the same side as you and not even really. Is he? Yeah. If he's screaming at robots, I'm not going to be so naive and say, oh, all the left are like that. All of them scream at robots. Obviously they don't, do they? So you should probably distance yourself from the man who is screaming, lock him up!
Yeah, at a fucking robot at Disney World. Yeah, absolutely. But we see what they do is they want the clicks of the viral incident, but they also know they can't push one of the hashtag resistance out. You can't do that. You can't do that, dude. Because if you do that, then obviously, how the resistance must be unified. So the Wrap gave the opportunity for this guy to fucking put a statement out, which is like, listen. If you're at a theme park scaring children, shouting at a robot, I don't I don't want to hear anything else you have to say. I'm sorry. The only thing I want to hear you come out of your mouth now are your screams while you're hauled off to an insane asylum.
Even when it was clear that literally everyone in that room was just telling him, shut up, bud. Like, if he started doing it, everyone started clapping. You know what I mean? Like one of those old classics. And they all started clapping.
I think we've established nobody ever claps.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
But you'd think when you're screaming in a room and everyone just goes, will you shut the fuck up, bud? You just go, lock him up! You just keep going when everyone's staring at you. Come on, mate. Take a hint.
But like in his mind, you know, he's probably comparing himself to like the Tibetan monks that like self-immolated. You know, or Gandhi with the hunger strikes and the peace and the passive resistance principle of the civil rights movement. He thinks he's in the same company as these people that actually did protests that changed history. He doesn't understand. He's just mentally ill shouting at a robot. You see, he doesn't get that. So anyway, the Wrap gave him an opportunity to put this statement out. I'm just gonna read it. Try not to vomit on yourself, all right? Anyone that is upset I disrupted a family vacation can check their privilege.
Oh, that classic banter, of course.
And consider getting mad about the thousands of children. He's
just writing the tweet again, then, is he? That's
more
a
words.
statement.
More words in this. And consider getting mad about the thousands of children being taken away from their parents because of Trump's racist immigration policy. He's yet to see that number be verified. Or the families of the hundreds of trans Americans murdered each year by transphobic and homophobic people, which I'm pretty sure, if anything was to be believed, was definitely happening prior to Trump. Are you telling me there wasn't any trans people murdered in America prior to Trump getting in? That's a bold claim.
Is that even happening? Like, maybe I am. Are there stats to back up this fact that
I read a
are being
report one time when I looked at this, and I think it was like last year was the record number of trans people murdered in America, and they were but it's still a really infinitesimally small amount compared to the number of trans people in America. They were labeled.
That's what I was going to say, isn't that just per capita though?
Yeah,
because there's more trans people, more people.
Yeah,
die.
I mean, the idea that there's a wave of trans murders in America is absurd and not backed up by any hard data whatsoever. But anyway, or the negative impacts of the tax bill on poor and middle income Americans. My only regret, I mean, he should have plenty, but my only regret is that Trump hasn't blocked me on Twitter yet, and that Cher hasn't retweeted me. If either of those events occur, I will die a very happy gay. And he says, he also added that I want to praise Disney security, who I bothered. They definitely don't want to praise you, mate. Disney security is amazing, and they do a great job protecting the millions of people who frequent their parks every day. They could not have been more professional and courteous to me once they made sure I wasn't a legitimate threat to anyone. So there you go. Good to know. A hero. A hero for our time, Sam.
I like they just re-quote his line, though. I protested, he said, because I'll never get this close in real life, probs. I like how they just end on that, just in case you didn't know that he's a bit of a dribbler. Here he goes, he thinks the robot's real.
But, so that was retarded. Another bad day for hashtag the resistance. But look, it doesn't end there. Gorillas, Sam. Right. Do you like gorillas? We like gorillas, actually. Don't we?
I've been watching loads of fucking nature documentaries recently.
We did an entire video on Harambe. I think our channel, our show, is on record as saying that we love gorillas. I watched many a documentary about gorillas. For example, the way they masturbate, how because they don't have feeling in their penis, they have to really just pull it off and punch it.
Have you seen that one about the most murderous, it wasn't gorillas. I think it was chimpanzees, but it was like the most murderous tribe. And they just they literally formed a tribe, and they would just take over areas of the jungle and kill all the monkeys who were there, expand the territory, take the females. It's mental, mate.
Oh yeah. I mean, they're I've seen it. Obviously, chimps aren't gorillas, but I've seen what those chimps do, man. When they fucking they just skin those colobus monkeys alive. I mean, they're wild. They're wild motherfuckers. Like, you ever listen to that 911 tape of the woman who had the pet
Or
chimpanzee?
face bitten off.
Yeah, and it
Yeah.
fucking attacked a friend and bit her face off.
Yeah.
That is fucking. You can just hear it in the background, like wah, 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 like full lost its motherfucking mind. Yeah. So I mean, I'm not.
Another one as well, mate. I'll tell you a banger of a documentary. But apparently, it's not. It's rumored that it might be not real, but it's basically. I don't know when it was filmed, but it looks like the 90s, and it's an explorer's first contact with a tribe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And they think I think in their what's the word? In their culture, apparently the white man is known as walking dead. Like they think it's a dead man who's come back to life. Like he looks like a ghost. So when he's there, but they've literally got bows drawn at his head. Like a guy goes to it with an hammer every time he goes to touch him because he's scared he's gonna kill him. That is real journalism, mate. Fuck all these people nowadays. That is real journalism, mate.
Yeah, but
it's like a hammer against your head. You ain't.
Yeah, it was like what I was talking about. Like it's like when Vice. Went out to fucking Liberia, it's mad to think Vice started out doing mad documentaries embedded with ISIS, going to see these tribes people, they investigated, to bring it back to guerrillas, they investigated the Congolese guerrilla trade as well. They'd done a ton of good documentaries back when they first started, and now it's like, is Thanksgiving problematic? Is milk racist? Beam me the fuck up, mate. Just another thing that gets infiltrated and ruined by people with ultra progressive politics that nobody has the heart to explain to them. You're the fucking bad guy. You mean well, but that's saying about the road to hell being paved with good intentions. But anyway, back to gorillas. So, do you know someone else who likes gorillas, Sam?
I don't fucking know. That's a bit of a broad one, isn't it?
Donald Trump likes gorillas, mate. Donald Trump likes gorillas.
Right.
Donald Trump likes gorillas, apparently. Right. So, one of the things that we've noticed post-election and in the build-up to the election is that people will say any old shit, any old lies about Donald Trump. And the frothing leftists, the verified leftist journalists, mainstream media outlets will regurgitate and repeat the lies without even a cursory fact check on the source or the veracity of the claims. We've seen it from fucking the fish food incident, it's just insane the amount of easily debunked anti-Donald Trump stories. Journalists who say the rally's empty, then pictures of the rally come out and it's fucking packed to the rafters. And then, and what they always do is they tell the lie gets retweeted hundreds of thousands of times and shared on social media. And then they issue a small retraction, which about 5 people see.
Smashed on page 1, apologized on page 36.
Yeah, that's and they're still doing this. And again, people say, oh, Donald Trump wants to stifle the free press and he's overly litigious and all this other stuff. Every time somebody did that to me, whoever the fuck I was, if I had the money, y'all getting sued. That's it. It would just be anything, any lie you tell that damages my reputation, you're getting sued. I don't care if it has a chilling effect. Sorry.
Yeah, especially if you're Trump, right? You must have unlimited lawyers. You have unlimited money. I just be doing it for fun, mate. I just be reading the newspaper and slumped.
That, he's so overly litigious. He's let the fucking press get away with fucking murder, in my opinion. Now, here's the thing. You might say, but Richard, you're a journalistic guy yourself. Surely you must want a free press and you mustn't want the chilling effect that fear of lawsuits and legal action can bring. Absolutely. Yeah, it'd be nice. But unfortunately, this new breed of journalist, we're not the same. We don't believe in the same things anymore. When I see journalists saying it's okay to lie and play fast and loose with the facts and because you've got a greater good to serve, I don't believe that, and no good journalist should believe that. It's that simple. And unfortunately, the only way to weed out this cancer at the heart of journalism is going to be to sue publications that employ people who have demonstrably lied in print and abused their journalistic privilege, their journalistic platform. You have to sue them back to the Stone Age so they never employ these people again and they get their houses in order. I hate to say it, but that is the only way we are going to cure the fundamental problem at the heart of modern journalism. That's the facts. It's already a business that is on its knees. And because it's on its knees and these editors are under pressure to make money, they're letting these journalists run riot with absolute nonsensical lies because they know those nonsensical lies will get clicks. And they hope and pray that enough clicks gets enough click-through on the ad revenue and they can all eat another week.
Do you think that would be solved if they ever came up with like a comprehensive way to fund independent journalism?
The financial model is broken. The financial model around journalism is broken. It hasn't moved in tandem with the times. People get their news off social media now. The modern print press never even got so far as to moving to digital. In fact, there's somebody that worked for print press and then digital press. Let me tell you, even at the time I made the move to work for digital platforms, the print press was saying, well, you know, you're taking a step down. I'd only worked for small, very small publications and very fleetingly. I barely had anything put in print. I couldn't break into mainstream journalism because there was an attitude that a degree wasn't enough, an NCTJ qualification wasn't enough. You needed a work placement, which basically meant you went to London and you got paid £9,000 or £13,000 a year while somehow trying to live in London, couch surfing, or this is why a lot of these new journalists in the UK especially come from rich families. You've got to already have money to do the rites of passage to get in a print media, and everyone goes, oh well, it's the superior form. Well, unfortunately your superior form is fucking dead. You should have fucking moved onto digital platforms when you had the chance. Instead, you thought everyone was going to be reading a newspaper over breakfast forever. Even when the aliens come, you thought they would still be there. Have you got the pull out for the Times, darling? It was never going to be that way. They had the opportunity to move with the times, and they chose not to out of snootiness and snobbishness. So, I mean, seriously, even though I love the journalistic industry and I love the press and I think it's an essential part of society, the people who have run it into the fucking ground. First of all, with elitism, and then second of all, now they're just letting people do whatever the fuck they want in lieu of journalistic standards and ethics to get clicks. It's gone from one extreme to the other. And I'm going to give you a demonstration of an absolute nightmarish story in a second. But anyway, so for me, the only way to kill the cancer, well, it's just like I say, you've got to, first of all, we need to get a much better a much better marketing model, a much better financial model for journalistic practices. And second of all, any publication that fucking prints these nonsensical stories, these bullshit stories designed to discredit people that they believe are neo-Nazis or whatever retarded nonsense they've made up in their mind that week, they need to be absolutely obliterated by legal action, and then eventually the editors will learn, I'm employing a journalist who has activist in his Twitter bio. Perhaps this person might be slightly biased and might abuse their platform some. Perhaps I shouldn't employ people like that. What do you know? So anyway, this is only tangentially linked, but it's a mind-blowing story that revolves around the release of a book about Donald Trump. Michael Wolff. He released a book this week called Fire and Fury, what it's like inside the Trump White House, an expose. And it's got some stories in it that are just complete nonsense, that don't stand up to any scrutiny, don't even make sense if you look at the timelines. For example, Michael Wolff regurgitated claims he'd made in a previous interview in 2017 that Donald Trump didn't know what Brexit was. And yet, if you look at the timeline, Donald Trump has said prior to these claims being made, he's talked about Brexit on multiple occasions and used the term Brexit. The sticking point wasn't that he didn't know what Brexit was. He knew it was Britain's exit from the European Union. He just didn't know what the word was, which honestly, I would forgive a world leader. You know, people forget that when George Bush met with a delegation of world leaders. He didn't even know what the fucking Ministry of Defense's name. Somebody who was going to be meeting from Pakistan. He couldn't even remember their name. People let George Bush get away with that. Donald Trump, so in the interview, Michael Wolff goes, "So what about Brexit?" And Donald Trump goes, "Hmm." And then Michael Wolff goes, "Brexit." And Donald Trump looks at him blank. And then he goes, "What's going on with Britain and the European Union?" And Donald Trump goes, "Oh, yeah. Britain totally went out of the European Union. I totally support them in doing it. They've had a lot of problems with the European Union. Go Britain." And so he did know what Brexit was. He just didn't know it was called Brexit, if you know what I mean. That's even if I believe Michael Wolff. And we're going to go into Michael Wolff, because this guy's got a history of being a fantasist and a liar. But anyway, all of these mad stories were coming out, and everybody was serializing the book. So a comedy Twitter account called Pixelated Boat, who's got 100K plus followers, decided to parody all of these little gotcha moments against Trump that were coming out from the Fire and the Fury book that Michael Wolff had published. And he did this parody. And I'm going to give you the tweet so we can bring it up and credit the original author. If you click on this link, Sam, you'll be able to get through to it. So Pixelated Boat, the comedy account, which is indeed a pixelated boat, said, "Wow, this extract from Wolff's book is a shocking insight into Trump's mind." And I'll read you the extract. Keep in mind, this is satire, and it'll become very clear very soon that it is satire. On his first night in the White House, President Trump complained that the TV in his bedroom was broken because it didn't have the Gorilla Channel. Trump seemed to be under the impression that a TV channel screened nothing but gorilla-based content. I gotta get through.
No way, you ain't gonna tell me someone fell for this being real, mate. You can't.
Improv.
Oh, I can't be arsed.
Trump seems to be under the impression that a TV channel existed that screened nothing but gorilla-based content 24 hours a day. To appease Trump, White House staff compiled a number of gorilla documentaries. Into a makeshift gorilla channel, broadcasting the Trump's bedroom from a hastily constructed transmission tower.
What? They wouldn't do that! They'd put it on a fucking DVD, wouldn't they, bud?
Right?
It's fucking the age of PCs. You think they made an actual TV channel for him? They put it on a transmission.
They put it on a tower. They built a tower, mate.
President wants a fucking gorilla channel. Make him one quick.
This is going to break you, though. This is where it gets really bad. However, Trump was unhappy with the channel they had created, moaning it was boring because the gorillas aren't fighting.
Who believes this, man?
Right. We'll get to that. Staff edited out all of the parts of documentaries where gorillas weren't hitting.
Just constant gorilla fighting. Oh, man.
Right. And at last, the president was satisfied. On some days, he'll watch the Gorilla Channel for 17 hours straight. Tyler told me. He kneels in front of the TV.
It keeps getting better.
Oh, man, this is amazing, isn't it? I love this guy for writing this. What a fucking legend. He kneels in front of the TV with his face about 4 inches from the screen and says encouraging things to the gorilla. Like, the way you hit that other gorilla was good. I think he thinks the gorillas can hear him. Right?
Fucking hell.
Oh. Right. So, now, Sam, just a question, just a quick question. Is there a world where if you heard that story, would you believe it?
As soon as you said the words Gorilla Channel, I knew it was a lie.
Yeah. But is there any world where, I mean, like, seriously, is there any, we all know Trump's a bit wackadoo, right? But
He's
I mean,
not
like,
going to watch gorillas fighting for 17 hours a day, but...
No, you see, there's problems with that story, isn't there?
Oh, fucking hell, but it's giving me double bronchitis, that has. Oh.
Oh, right. So let me find you this guy. Because, yes, unfortunately, in the clamor to believe that everything bad about Donald Trump is true, Scott Dworkin, who is the co-founder of the Democratic Coalition and is an MSNBC contributor, also proud member of hashtag The Resistance, and claims he helped uncover the Trump-Russia scandal, which is also it's about real
that don't exist.
Yeah, exactly. Like he watched, he uncovered it by releasing a story saying that Donald Trump used to watch something called the Putin Channel.
Well, I actually discovered something where I gave all of the UK internet after the government shut all the internet down. I know I didn't, but I did do it.
So you'll see Alex Griswold, who's a great media debunker. You should totally follow Alex Griswold's Twitter account. He's great. He's provided tons of material for this show, just with his sort of diligent breakdown of media spin. And he does it on both sides, despite, people claiming he's alt-right or whatever nonsense you might hear. You can see here, Scott Dworkin said Trump was mad because his TV wasn't getting the Gorilla channel. Doesn't exist. So staff made videos of gorillas for him. He thought it was boring because they weren't always fighting, so they edited it to just fights. He then watched and spoke to TV as if gorillas could hear him 17 hours a day. That is a retweet from somebody.
Even lied about the fake story, mate. It wasn't 17 hours every day. There was a day he spent 17 hours. See, you can't even get the lies right, mate.
Right. Then you had Samantha Maiden, who is a Sky News journalist, and she tweeted out as if the passage was real. Right? She publicly tweeted this. This is the screenshot of a now deleted tweet. The Trump book says the U.S. President Trump watches gorilla documentaries for hours and crawls around on the floor acting out gorilla stuff. And yeah,
another lie.
Yep,
he doesn't crawl around. He's on his knees.
Yeah, and definitely doesn't
do gorilla stuff. He just says that was a good hit. Strong right hook. Nice left Harambe. Cover up Harambe. Go for the body.
She followed it up with a picture of Harambe next to Donald Trump for some reason. I don't know.
Harambe?
Come on, that's got to be Harambe. It looks like him, a big, strong, masculine.
I can't really tell what Harambe is. It was a long time ago. I haven't seen him in a while.
I know. I do miss him.
Harambe,
rip Harambe. Somebody. There was There's a guy called Toure who does like a podcast where he talks about politics and stuff. He basically publicly said, "Well, I don't believe that story." Like, as if, well
done. You've done some serious investigation work there, mate. All it took me was 6 words, but after many hours deliberating, you have discovered that he's not quite sure on it. Didn't say it was fake. He just said, "I don't believe it." This
is my personal favorite. Someone called Litsa Dramusis. Again, these are all screenshots because they deleted the tweets in embarrassment, the hashtag resistance. This is Litsa Dramusis, where she goes, "It's not that I think the gorilla portion of Michael Wolff's book," keep in mind, it's not in the book. The nerve of commenting on a book, the contents of which you haven't read, based on a tweet that you saw from a clear comedy account called Pixelated Boat.
You did zero research to make sure it was true as well.
Yeah.
Didn't you know what I mean? Fall victim to the gorilla channel, like.
These people call themselves journalists. They don't even They don't even look at the accounts where these extracts are coming from. They see something go viral and they just spit it out and regurgitate it as if it must be fucking real. That is your modern journalism, my friends. This is what they do. And then when they get something wrong, they just delete the tweet and they don't recoil in shame or horror. I think about some of the things I've done and gone through when I've been breaking stories on a beat as fucking small and insignificant as esports.
Oh, mate, I've seen you lose your mind before press and publish.
Yeah.
That was
right?
a very lispy sentence for something. Lose your mind.
No. It's all right, mate. You remember when we did the Phantom Load story?
Yeah.
Remember that? I didn't
remember
sleep for days.
Breaking down phrases like, you sure we should publish it? You sure? We sure? We definitely sure it's correct. We definitely sure. Checked and checked and checked. We went through dates and money sendings and time logs and everything. Yeah. Facebooks and Twitters and streams and hours of VODs. And we do that for this story, mate. You think they do it for the fucking President of America, wouldn't they?
Well, it is the Gorilla Channel, Sam. It is the Gorilla Channel.
If a Gorilla Channel exists, you should start it right now, because I'd 100% be subscribing.
What?
If there was a Netflix, but GorillaFlix.com.
If there was a 24-hour channel of just gorillas fighting
100%.
Oh, yeah.
Every time I travel, when I went away for...
this show would be dead.
Yeah, when I went away for casting, but when you're in a hotel, they usually always have Discovery Channel. And whenever I go away to work for Gfinity, they usually have Discovery Channel. So I watch nature documentaries 24/7, mate. I fucking love it. Love a good gorilla documentary.
You know what I found, though? I guess it's kind of like, when you get used to, like, having something a particular way.
Yeah.
And if there's anything slightly off about it, even if the content is ostensibly the same or the acting.
Yeah. Like I hate it when the narrator's voice doesn't fit. If a narrator's voice isn't good enough, it's an instant loss.
And
no matter how good it is.
I can't watch him if it ain't David Attenborough.
Yeah. It's got to be an old British guy, like.
Yeah.
It's either an old British guy or like a really epic American sounding guy. You can't just have an average American guy. Don't worry.
Put it this way. I'm just gonna put this out there in case any BBC people are watching. What you need to do now is get David Attenborough into a room
and freeze him to make sure he never dies.
No, because why would you freeze him now? Motherfucker's like 90. Like, he don't want to be frozen. Like, what happens? Oh, well, you brought him back.
Yeah, we'll defreeze him when we figured out how immunity is cured. Just make him immortal.
Can't do it. So all you need to do is you need to get him and just basically make a fucking soundboard. And then you can just do wicked nature documentaries forever. Because if you don't...
Yeah, just offer him, like, I'll give you 50 mil. I want you to read every word in this dictionary.
Yeah. Every word in this dictionary, every Latin word in a Latin dictionary. Because people are saying you could just clone him. You can't. His voice might not even come out the same because there's a environmental factor to the voice.
So it doesn't work. Smoking, he might have been doing anything.
So anyway, I can't watch it unless it's him. So just saying. But look, back to Litsa Dramusis. It's not that I think the gorilla portion of Michael Wolff's book will keep me up tonight. I think it might keep me up forever. #impeach. So again, this.
Why is it impeachable to watch Gorilla Docs anyway?
I do not know.
Why has he got to go to jail for Gorilla Channel? That's unreasonable.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess they would have to try and file it under him not being mentally fit to do the job of president. But I mean, again, I'm pretty sure
the Gorilla Doc, boy.
If you're telling me that George W. Bush didn't sit in his big old chair watching cartoons in the White House, Tom never gets Jerry.
That damn Roadrunner.
You're telling me that never happened, and that wasn't impeachable, was it? So, but yeah, people actually believe the gorilla, the gorilla story. Now, just to remind you about who this Michael Wolff character is. Michael Wolff is a journalist who is known for just being, fucking. He's been called out multiple times for exaggeration. And I've compiled some quotes and some stuff here about him from other publications, things people have said about him. You can bring up the Wikipedia page if you want to have something to look at. Here's his Wikipedia page, and you'll see, he's published some articles. He's pretty well respected, went to Columbia College, of Columbia University, got an internship at the New York Times where he worked as, on copy. He's considered, very well educated. He's certainly got a decent CV, but he has been called out multiple times when it comes to political writing for being just completely over the top. So let me just find some of these quotes for you. So first of all, one of his big books is a book called Burn Rate, which was a book about pursuing digital riches and the danger of the .com bubble. And it was given huge positive reviews at the time, but some people did have issues with the details in that book. So this was in 1998. If you think about when the .com bubble was, before the sort of internet as we know it had really taken off. And there was a write-up in Slate, and there's a press critic called Jack Schaefer. Some people might have heard of him, and he wrote an article in Slate where he basically said he really doubted Wolf's details as being reliable. And the quote here was, "Wolf exploits the human tendency to confuse frankness and cruelty with truth-telling, and by repeatedly reminding the reader of what a dishonest, scheming little shit he is, he seeks to inflate his credibility. A real liar wouldn't tell you that he's a liar, as Wolf does." The wealth of verbatim quotations constituting a good third of this book also enhances Burn Rate's verisimilitude. But should it? Wolf writes that he jotted down bits of dialogue on his legal pads during meetings while other composed to-do lists. Not to accuse anyone of Stephen Glassism, but I'd love to see Wolf post these copious notes on his promotional website. Never happened, of course. He was never able to produce these, notes to back up these unbelievable quotes. And this is just as a general rule. If you guys ever read a quote and the quote is almost too perfect and it fits the story too well, one of two things have happened here. The journalist, perhaps sometimes in collaboration with the person giving the quote, has polished it up a little bit or has asked a series of leading questions to get the quote that they want. Or second of all, it's completely made up. I mean, it's one of the two. Because when you interview a subject about a matter, you never get the perfect gotcha quote. You never get it.
Because they're trying not to give you one, obviously.
Well, no, but I mean, even if like it's a whistleblower and they want to express how terrible something was, and you ask the question, and in the back of your mind, what you want to do is get them onto, let's say they were whistleblowing about, dangerous medicines, poisonous aspirin.
Right.
You wanted to push them towards how the poison got in the aspirin and whether or not they thought the company was liable and negligent. And you ask them, well, how did the poison get into the aspirin? And they go, oh, well, there's a variety of ways it could happen. Well, this is already starting to dilute the fucking argument, right? It's already not getting what I want. I want to write this piece about how, this big pharma company is to blame and should be liable and should be sued. That's the thrust of my piece. I've got secondary sources and quotes that substantiate it. But my one whistleblower is giving me very watered down, meandering quotes. Best case scenario, you ask him the same question, a leading question, more and more, and then you get the one little sentence you want. But you can be at it all day. And if you publish your notes, if you're meticulously writing down everything your subject says, it will sort of bear no resemblance to finalized copy.
Yeah.
So this is what I mean. If you ever hear a quote that sounds too good to be true, it's either been heavily polished and altered by the journalist, or, they've asked a series of leading questions to get that. Or it's completely fictitious. You decide. And then anyway, a guy called Michael Cottle, who did a profile in 2004 on Michael Wolff when he was a writer at Vanity Fair, said that he didn't even really get politics as far as he was concerned. And he said that Wolff, the columns that Wolff writes are, quote, They are not recreated so much as created. They spring from Wolff's imagination rather from actual knowledge of events. Even Wolff acknowledges that conventional reporting, isn't his bag. Rather, he absorbs the atmosphere and gossip swirling around him at cocktail parties, on the street, and especially during those long lunches at Michael's. His great gift is the appearance of intimate access, an editor says who worked with Wolfe. He is skillful at making the reader think he has spent hours and days with his subject, when in fact he may have spent no time at all. Right? So, it seems to me, I mean, this guy was already suspect coming in. There's more quotes like that and more people criticizing him. There was somebody, do you remember David Carr? You know, I think we even did a show on him way back when. David Carr was a mighty fine journalist who passed away. And he said that as far as he was concerned, Wolfe has never distinguished himself as a reporter. And that was when he reviewed a book by him. It was a 2008 Murdoch biography called The Man Who Owns the News.
Yeah.
Right? And he said, he said he has succeeded in cutting through the clutter by being far less circumspect and sometimes more vicious than other journalists whom he views as archaic losers about to go the way of the Walkman. Factual errors be damned, Carr added with a begrudging thumbs up. Wolfe prefers the purity of his constructs. You will not find one journalist or media critic that says Michael Wolfe is a savvy, incisive, accurate reporter. Didn't happen, not true. Yet this guy is the guy.
Oh, till now, though, of course.
Yeah, till now.
Super accurate now.
Till now. Yet this guy is the guy who got White House access. The White House denied he had the level of access that he claims to have had. He apparently got unprecedented access to follow Donald Trump around to write this book. It's nonsense. Utter nonsense. And it's interesting, isn't it, that a book written by a serial fantasist and dubious political reporter is being dissected. Well, not even dissected. Dissection implies some form of investigation, right? Like some curious, inquisitive nature to what you're doing. It's not being dissected. It's just being
digested.
Reviewed. Yeah, and digested, exactly right. And all over the mainstream media, they're talking about this. Do you remember when that Hillary Clinton book came out, and in it was like, oh, yeah, we completely made up the Russian thing.
Yep.
The day we watched, the day we fucking lost the election, we came up with the Russian story. Didn't see that get digested pretty much anywhere other than Fox News, by the way. So it is interesting, once again, that it's like, some political books just don't make the grade, I guess. I wonder why. So, just to wrap up, some more hashtag resistance nonsense, because I could talk about that. Yeah, I could talk about that Michael Wolfe book forever and a day. There is some other stuff. They're still talking about Trump having dementia, apparently. That's going on. And
what are the reasons? Why is it because he held a glass with two hands?
Well, now, because this book has come out, which, keep in mind, it's full of, just absurd stories that have been universally denied. Donald Trump obviously denies it, but I mean, can't take him at his word. But they were saying that, the book is apparently suggesting he's mentally unstable. Donald Trump, of course, put a tweet out saying... Donald Trump. I can't believe I have to defend this man.
Yeah, I know, it's mental. You know what I even retweeted a bit. I woke up and he was just like, my nuclear button is much bigger than yours. I'm like, what the fuck is
I can't believe I have to defend this man. But the press are just so full of fucking liars and shills and Democrat bitches, and they see themselves as the resistance party. I can't stomach it. But I have to sit and defend
this ain't a real tweet, mate. This ain't real. There's no way it's a real tweet.
Oh, this is real
this
tweet,
can't be real.
It's real. This is what he said.
This is mental.
No, I know. This is what he said in retaliation to the book coming out suggesting he's mentally unstable. Said here, actually, throughout my life, my two greatest assets have been mental stability and being, really smart.
Mate, why is he writing it like a 14-year-old teenager? I'm like,
maybe Maybe there's a 14-year-old teenager has access to his Twitter. I mean, that would explain a lot of things. I don't know. Maybe it's, maybe he wrote it after the Gorilla Channel, a heavy
That
day of
is
watching
mental, mate.
like, really smart.
This one might even be more mental than the nuclear button tweet, just because of that line. Because I was like, really smart.
Yeah, and whatever. I was like, whatever, Kim Jong-un, and then it was like, whatever. Right. Crooked Hillary Clinton also played these cards very hard, and as everyone knows, went down in flames. I went from very successful businessman to top TV star to president of the United States on my first try. I think that would qualify as not smart, but genius. And a very stable genius.
See, he could have done this in a reasonable way. Like, if he had just right, we know what Trump is like. If he had just done the part where I went from a very successful businessman to a top TV star to now the president of the United States. Sounds like a very mentally unstable and not smart person to me as well. You know what I mean? You haven't got to go. I'm like really smart and like fuck Hillary and I'm the president, so I'm really cool and smart.
Yeah, I know. It is absurd. It is absurd. And, I just don't get why his Twitter has to happen. It's actually, I never thought I would ever say this, but it's almost made me sympathetic to the idiots that say, I fucking hate Richard Lewis. I hope he dies because he said something bad on Twitter. And it's like, you do start to believe that Twitter is a window into someone's soul and you can gauge their entire personality from it. And when you see all these ridiculous things, it's like I said, Donald Trump has done a lot of great things since he's been president. He's done some absolutely retarded shit as well. And he's done some shit that goes, in my opinion, beyond retarded into, do you even know how this works, mate? Because, like, for example, just tweeting, all transgender people are banned from the military and all all the generals are like, sorry, you've got to. Yeah, there's like, you got to. First of all, you definitely have to talk to us about that.
Yeah, you have to ask.
Yeah, and there's these like, laws you got to pass. And you haven't even started that, mate. You just woke up and had a tweet while you're having a shit or something. So no, it's not happening. And then, of course, it doesn't happen. And it's like, well, what was the point of tweeting it out like it was absolute law? It's like, you see that, and it's very hard to argue that he doesn't think that he's God Emperor. We're banning those transgenders from the military then, and everyone goes, yes, almighty. What? It doesn't work like that. America will never work like that, thank God. So anyway,
that's why it's good.
Because of this book, everyone started talking about him having Alzheimer's or something now. These armchair analysis. And the BBC has a decent summary of it. Of course they do. They haven't compiled a summary of all of the nonsense in the book yet. They didn't cover the Gorilla Channel thing.
Nah,
of course not. Didn't cover any of that. But we will talk about Trump's mental health again, I think, for the third time already in 2018. And let me explain, first off, why this has become super important to hashtag La Resistance, which, again, massive insulting name. When you think about, like, the resistance in, like, France during World War II, the resistance in
hashtag Iraq, I'm a bit upset.
Yeah. Hashtag cunts. That would work for me. But anyway, so the reason it's important to hashtag the resistance is that obviously if Donald Trump did have one of these diseases that they claim he has, he would have to be impeached because he wouldn't be mentally fit. What's interesting, though, is the same Democrats who say Donald Trump should be impeached because he's showing signs, with even though getting a clean bill of health from doctors before he was sworn in, he's showing signs of Alzheimer's in their armchair expert opinion. The same people say that John McCain, who's currently got a blastoma on his brain, is fine and should be voting and is a hero for voting against Trump, actually. It's interesting, isn't it? Brain tumors, I hate to break it to anybody.
Pretty big deal on new brain, like.
Yeah, they can impair your judgment a little.
It's not the ideal thing for your mental health.
Nah, he has something called a glioblastoma. It's a really nasty, aggressive type of brain cancer. And as anybody knows, anybody who's seen relatives or anyone, or it's horrible. But what the leftists are saying is, nah, he's fine. Let him vote. He's against Trump. He's fit to be a fucking senator. That's fine. That's all good. Donald Trump, though, he drank with two hands. Get him out. Drank a glass of water with two hands. Brain tumor.
Hey, did you see the comments on that video, by the way?
Yeah,
the one when we did the hand one. Everyone was saying I was a Trump shill, but because I said using two hands to drink water is sometimes reasonable. Yeah. Haven't you cunts ever touched a slippery glass?
Yeah, I did see several comments.
Yeah, if I'm straight shilling, because I said, sometimes I use two hands. Oh, he's lying, he's reaching. I'm not reaching. I use two hands, I'm sorry. Sometimes glasses are slippery, bruh. Oh, he's mentally ill. Get him off the show.
Yeah, I hate to break it to you. I'm hoping I don't have Alzheimer's. That'd be ironic, wouldn't it? But yeah, it's ridiculous. But anyway, that's what's been going on. It's like it's this disparity. You can't talk about Hillary's health. Hillary's perfectly fine. She's just collapsed. She's shaking, she's doing weird shit with her head. Hillary's fine. She spat up what looked like a fucking alien's egg into a fucking glass in the middle of a speech. She's fine. She is fine, right? And in fact, it's un-American to talk about her health. And you must hate America if you talk about her health. And it's conspiracy theory, and you probably think, Pizzagate is real, and your box is gone if you're talking about her health. Donald Trump gets in.
He's mentally ill, get him out, impeach!
Yeah, talking about nothing but his health based on these flimsiest pretexts. Then you get the stuff with McCain, again, tragic that he has awful type of brain cancer, and everyone says, well, when people were worried he was maybe going to fold and capitulate, and Trump was wooing him, trying to win him back, and people thought he was going to vote in favor of the fucking health bill, right? Everybody was going, fuck John McCain. It's good he's got cancer. That'll teach him to vote with Trump on the health bill. It's good he's got cancer. Now he's going to realize what it's like to have to pay for health care, and fuck him, and it's good, and it's karma. And then he voted against the health bill. He's a modern day hero. Like, you're all over the place, leftists. This is what I mean. You can't even call them leftists. Like, leftist implies a permanent position on the left, doesn't it? They're just wherever they're just anti-Trumpers. This is how it is now. But anyway, so the BBC have summarized it, and I'll just read you this. Try and. Hopefully your box doesn't get blown out, mate.
Through the back of my head.
Right? So it says here, the book, the accuracy of which has been disputed by the White House and queried by others, paints the president as impatient and unable to focus, prone to rambling and repeating himself. Mr. Trump has hit back against him. I mean, by the way, perfectly normal behavior for someone who's 71.
For what?
To ramble a bit and repeat yourself.
I mean, people just seem to forget, right? I know it's mental to say this, because obviously you didn't apply to be the president, right? But imagine if you sit down in that chair, day one, and like, okay, here's a book of secrets, here's why Guantanamo's open, here's what this war's about, here's where we killed all these people, here's what you can't talk about, here's what'll get you killed if you mention. Suddenly your fucking box goes, but maybe you would be a bit rambly. Then you got to deal with everything from the other country. Then you got to deal with North Korea said they're going to blow you up. Then they said they're going to blow up, what's that territory America have that North Korea said they're going to do? Guam. Then they just said Guam's going to be gone. Like, you start fucking freaking out. You're like, what do you mean? Why are you nuking Guam? What's Guam ever done to you?
It's just mad, isn't it? Right? But again, like, I remember when my granddad was in his 70s. My granddad, rest his soul, was, he wasn't what you would call senile.
He had a ramble, didn't he? But he had a rant every now and then.
Oh.
A repeat.
He used to sit in that chair and get arseholed on rum. And fucking talk about the bad old days. Yeah, he had a ramble. I indulged his rambles when I was like
I used to like that shit from my
9 or 10. Yeah, why not?
I like those old war stories.
Yeah. Now, nobody came in the house and went, fucking hell, granddad, you must have Alzheimer's or something. You never shut the fuck up, do you? You never repeat yourself, right? So you always repeat yourself. You got to go. Your boxer's gone. We didn't cart him off to a fucking home. He did die shortly after, like. So maybe I'm fucking up my own argument here. But it's just like 71 is old, guys. If you don't want rambly presidents, elect younger presidents. If you didn't have some retarded political system like being it's almost in line with being a pope, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't
Like,
want
by the time you actually get there, we've just elected a sprightly young pope. How old is he? 103? It's like the joke, innit? Like, what lasts longer, a pope or a wine gum? You know, like, they're in and they're out, you know? And, like, now popes are starting to skew a little bit younger. So it's ridiculous. You can't have
I always found it mental that the president of the United States was just an old cunt. Like, I understand, experience comes with age, etc., but still, like, we can't just keep electing 70-year-old people forever. There's got to be a change. How about we elect 2 35-year-olds? They got double the experience. We're at 70. Love it.
I mean, and this is the thing as well. Unfortunately, even somebody like Donald Trump, who doesn't drink and is in good... is in good nick by all accounts. I mean, although I did hear from the fucking resistance, he's a fucking beak fiend on the sly. He's a germphobe teetotaler, but of course now at the tender age of 71, Sam, gives a line, mate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
Fucking hell, gets the old clapper racing, doesn't it? Yeah, it does.
Let me have a ramble. Put that fucking gorilla channel on.
I'll get that gorilla channel on and
leave the beak.
Another fucking line of that good.
Bring me my yayo and put on gorilla channel.
It's insane. It just seems to me that it's like 71 probably. I don't know how I feel about it. Like, it's 71. You are going to have health problems. At 71, health problems are just going to suddenly onset as well, unfortunately. This is the time when your fucking genes start to fuck up and a cancer kicks your ass out of nowhere. This is the age where you just have a spontaneous heart attack because your heart's all fucking blown out. This is the age where maybe your brain cells do start to not regenerate and fucking...
People just die normally, Ron. Yeah. So, that was about the age, but...
71-year-old keeled over and died.
You wouldn't be surprised, would you?
Yeah, no one would go, bloody hell, he was so young. You wouldn't say that, would you? You wouldn't go, he had so many good years left. You'd be like, well, 71.
Not a bad innings.
Yeah, not a bad innings. Not a great innings. But there you go, So,
I'd be happy to get 70, mate. 70's all right.
Yeah. So, it just seems insane. Anyway, back to this BBC write-up, Sam. Let's get back to this. So, Mr. Trump, I like how they call him Mr. Trump, not President Trump.
No.
Can't bring yourself to do it, can you not, BBC? By the way, just future reference, I mean, maybe I should be one of your editors. The proper term for a president is president. You don't call them Mr. You may as well have called
Marilyn Monroe. Happy birthday, Mr. President.
Mr. President, I'll take that, right? If you want to go formal, like double formal, Mr. President, you don't call him Mr. Trump. He's president. He's President Trump. That's his title. He got elected. He earned that title. This is journalistic standards in the toilet, Mr. fucking Trump. What next? Trumpy, old Don,
Captain Trump.
Yeah, it's so dumb. Right, President Trump has hit back against Mr. Wolf's account, claiming on Twitter to be a very stable genius whose two greatest assets have been mental stability and being, like, really smart. But the president's manner, like, look at this as a statement of fact. But the president's manner and speaking have led to armchair diagnoses of a host of ailments, from Alzheimer's to narcissistic personality disorder, a controversial practice that divides the medical profession. There's no division. If you are a practicing expert in medicine, if you believe that, even if you are a doctor, any doctor who feels comfortable diagnosing somebody from just, I saw him do this. I saw him tweet out a 20-second video of himself. Pretty confident he's got cancer. If you ever said that, you would be a laughing stock of the serious medical profession. And do you know how I know this? Because I remember when they had a doctor on like InfoWars documentaries, and he was going, Well, I'm confident from all of the videos that I've seen, Hillary 100% has Parkinson's and dementia. And I know because I specialize in this field. Weird. The media did a hatchet job on him. And keep in mind, I am saying that's perfectly fine. That's fair game. I'm not saying you shouldn't speculate. If you're comfortable giving a diagnosis in that condition, I question your qualifications, honestly. So here we go. During the marketing campaign for the book, Mr. Wolf said Mr. Trump, 71, repeated himself often. Repetition can be caused by poor short-term memory as well as by other factors. It can be a sign of dementia, which affects 5 to 8% of people aged 60 and over worldwide, according to the World Health Organization.
So it probably ain't then. So if it's only 5 to 8%, probably ain't that.
Probably ain't that. But not only that, Sam. Not only that. I mean... What if you just thought everything you said was...
Yeah, straight fire.
Yeah, straight fire. You know, reminds me of Paulie.
Say it again for the ones in the back.
Yeah, reminds me of Paulie and The Sopranos. You hear what I said? You know what
Just
I mean?
when I got out, they pulled me back in. You heard that tone? You heard that one tone?
Right. So anyway, everybody was painfully aware of the increasing pace of his repetition, wrote Mr. Wolf. It used to be inside of 30 minutes he'd repeat, word for word and expression for expression, the same 3 stories. Now it was within 10 minutes. So what, it's been a rapid escalation of his dementia, just conveniently after he got elected, as there. Mr. Wolf did not give any other context for the alleged repetitions. Mr. Trump has blasted the book, calling it phony and full of lies. And then anyway, it says here, why would it
His accusation is you repeat stories.
Is
say that for every person in the world, mate. I thought it meant just repeating words over and over again.
Trash talk we went through. I used to get drunk, do the show, and we used to have Richie 2 stories. Remember, there's a Richie 2 story.
Yeah.
He's drunk. Us again. He's told this one again. You know.
You'd say about every comedian in the world, anyone.
Yep.
If they think a story's good, he's going to keep saying it, and he might be new people in our fucking room. A lot of people in and out of the White House, mate. He's trying to make a good impression. He's getting wrecked by the media. Now he's having another slump in because he's told the story twice.
Imagine it, Joey Diaz, for fuck's sake.
Isn't it?
It's all actors repeating stories. So anyway, why does it matter? Right? So, I mean, first of all, it lists some, here you go. Psychologists have previously speculated about symptoms they purported to see in Mr. Trump's behavior. Several books came out on the topic within months of the Trump inauguration. The Dangerous Case of Donald Trump by Bandy X. Lee, Twilight of American Sanity by Alan Francis, and Fantasyland by Kurt Anderson. Dr. Lee, who is a psychiatry professor at Yale, told a group of mostly Democrat senators last month that I wonder what is occurring here, Sam. Last month that Mr. Trump was going to unravel, and we are seeing the signs. It is worth remembering none of these people have treated Mr. Trump again, not President Trump, nor do they have close-up information on his state of mind.
Of course they don't.
Yep. So, why would it matter? Well, in theory, it could cost Mr. Trump his job. Blah, blah, blah. This is the whole thing. This is why we're talking about Trump being mentally ill. Keep in mind, they hid that Ronald Reagan had Alzheimer's when he was in.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh, well, look, it was like 5 years after he stood down. They came out publicly and went, oh, yeah. But he was on the fucking stands. There was that famous bit when he was talking about arms deals. Like, did you sell these arms? And he was going, I do not recall. And people thought he was just lying because he's a politician. And the lie you always tell is, I don't remember, because you've neatly indicted one way or the other. And then it turned out he just didn't fucking remember. He just didn't remember. No one, it was fine. The world didn't die in a fiery pit. We've already had an Alzheimer's president. I'm not saying it's optimal. I'd still want them out, but it happened. And everyone, no, he totally was fine. He was fine when he was in charge. He just mysteriously got Alzheimer's as soon as he left. All right, okay, I buy it. Anyway. Under the 25th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, if a president is deemed to be unable to discharge the powers and duties of his office, the vice president takes over. His cabinet and the vice president together would need to kickstart the process, so it's unlikely to happen. Basically, what would have to happen here is the entire cabinet would have to fucking agree Donald Trump, that his box is gone, and then they would have to fucking sign a letter, which has to be signed by the vice president. Without his signature, it can't happen. And that would start a process where the vice president would take over immediately, and then the president would have an appeals process to prove his sanity, basically, which you would do with an independent medical assessment, one presumes.
But the vice president has to have the agreement from everyone else as well. It seems a bit weird that the vice president kind of has authority when
I think it's
he takes control.
majority. I think it's 2/3 majority.
All right.
But it's a 2/3 majority, and it must have the vice president's signature because he takes over.
Yeah.
So, why now? Why are we talking about this? Why is it dominating the news? It's because Russia's dead, mate. You can't impeach.
Exactly. They tried that one.
Yeah, we tried that. Now we're going to go down this route. They're so desperate to impeach this guy. Can we stop, man? It's not even 3 years left now. It's all right. We're past the worst. The wall's not getting built. He's not doing 2 terms. Relax. Be more worried about this North Korea shit. Although, that being said, when he came out and said, my button is bigger than yours, I know North Korea fucking picked up the fucking phone to South Korea and said, peace talks now real quick. I mean, I did a whole bit on stream about how his box has gone, and it was embarrassing, and we had a vote as to whether or not it was acceptable for a president to behave that way. And 53% of my audience said yes.
What? They must be lying, though, because they just think it's funny, but the thing is, it is a bit funny until you realise, hang a bang, he does actually have that nuke button, like both of them do, and you're both just giving things over the fucking internet. Probably not reasonable.
I say not reasonable, but you see, Team Banter checking in. Hashtag Team Banter, mate. They think it's fine. They think it's fine for the president of the United States, the most powerful man in the world.
But that isn't even banter, though. That's World War starting shit.
They're all right with it, mate. I'm sure they will sign up to serve in the upcoming military.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Look, at the end of the day, we have a mixed audience here, and we don't judge anyone's decisions, apart from all those crazy cunts who come in and, why aren't you bashing the Muslims today, Rich? I never do, though, do I? Yeah. Go away. Right, so that's the mental health thing. And then finally, and then we'll stop talking about Trump. We haven't done Trump for a while. There's just been so much going on. Right, the other thing that hashtag resistance wants? They want Donald Trump off Twitter.
Right.
Now, I wish the White House would get Donald Trump off Twitter. That's my opinion on the matter. Like, just stop or just change what he's doing. But
it's still, like, people, I get when people say Team Banter, I get the little edgy digs, right? I can understand a little dig at the media, even. But you can't just be starting nuclear war on Twitter, mate. There's got to be a line.
Yeah, so look, the issue you got with that, right, is like, at the end of the day, a large amount of Trump supporters, and again, remember, I'm not a Trump supporter. I'm just vehemently anti-Hillary Clinton. A lot of actual Trump supporters who believe in Donald Trump and believe he was the best choice out of every candidate on both sides of the political spectrum. And I say both sides because that's all they have in America. They don't really have a political spectrum at all. A lot of Trump supporters like that Donald Trump speaks directly to the people. You hear them say it all the time, don't you? Oh, he talks directly to us through Twitter. He bypasses the mainstream media and all the people who've got fucking, like, wealthy off the back of being Trump supporters, all the people that have launched media companies and pretend to be journalists, all these right-wing, people who aren't fit to wear the term journalist either. They all say, yep, he's part of a new wave of media. Donald Trump gets social media. He just doesn't, does he? He just fucking knows that the mainstream outlets just lie through their teeth, and he just goes on Twitter and says ridiculous things that he knows are going to blow up and be discussed and dissected and debated and everything else. That's just how he operates. Some people think that's a genius move. I think it's just really tedious. I'll be honest. I don't think Obama was a great president by any stretch of the imagination. I certainly don't think he was like this fucking saintly, worthy of the Nobel Prize world leader that so many other people seem to buy without questioning it. This is a motherfucker who was literally just like, "Yep, send in the drones. We'll send in the drones."
I don't think individually he was, but like as a symbol of American history, he was pretty like. You know what I mean? He did unite. It felt like the country united for a while, at least. Like we finally all got behind one idea.
And that's what I mean. First black president. I mean, that's a huge a testament to the progression. America's made as a society. It's amazing in that sense. This is a guy who's a wonderful spokesperson. I'll be honest. I think he gave some fucking great political speeches.
Oh, yeah, amazing.
But actual ones that are worth remembering. It's very. You'll come across a lot of good public speakers in politics, but content is rarely there and wording is rarely there. They're just delivering some glib message, but doing it in a very highly polished way. Obama, he could freestyle and riff. Great spokesperson. And one of the things that Americans were spoiled with was that whenever there was something wrong, whatever it was, school shooting, national crisis, threat of war, Obama would put on his best suit and he would sidle out in front of a microphone and deliver an impeccable, reassuring speech that seemed to understand exactly the nation's feelings and reassure everyone like a parent reading you a bedtime story. It was perfect. Anybody who pretends that this isn't true
he was an amazing statesman.
Person. Right?
No way you can deny it.
You have 8 years of that. Now, if Obama, every time something was going on, went on Twitter going like, fuck this guy and fuck that guy, and but does he have the biggest dick though, or whatever? Just ridiculous point scoring off all of his political opponents. People wouldn't remember Obama as fondly. People wouldn't say they miss him. They'd be glad to get rid of him. And this is why I've never liked this approach to politics that Donald Trump embraces. I've never liked it. It can be straight fire. I loved him in the debates. I thought the way he fucking hit everyone right in their soft spots in the debate showed a very precise meanness that you need in politics to get elected, to get nominated. I thought he was a fucking whirlwind in the debates. Really made me stand up and take notice. I was calling him winning the Republican nomination at a time when everyone was saying he's not going to do it because he absolutely kicked the living shit. I mean, he murdered Jeb Bush.
Yeah.
He murdered him. And you saw it. You saw how defeated Jeb Bush. It was, Jeb Bush was, please clap, he was just a mess. And Donald Trump called him a mess and used the word mess. Donald Trump was a force of nature during those debates. I admired that. But I thought, right, got the nomination. Now you got to kill Hillary. Fine, go hard. But now that you're in, now that you've won the election, and people forget this, Donald Trump delivered a wonderful inauguration speech. Some of it did quote Bane from The Dark Knight Rises. That was, I'm sure, a coincidence.
Was it, though? Because it was like word for word. Do you not think the speechwriter probably just went, you know what? Fuck it. A bit of Bane in you, why not?
I mean, it did literally quote Bane.
Yeah, it was word for word, I'm pretty sure.
And we give America back to you, the people. Yeah, it was mad full. Yeah, it was mad Bane, full levels of Bane in his speech. But that's all right. I like Bane. I thought Bane was the good guy. So, but anyway, people will clip that now. You can't just Richard in politics. He thinks Bane is the good guy. Betty also thinks Tyler Durden's the good guy. Do though.
Yeah, Tyler Durden is.
Yeah, good. Glad we all agree. So anyway, actually did quote Bane. But anyway, so I thought he gave a wonderful fucking speech about how you trying to unify and let's heal the divide. And I thought he meant it. And I thought he would actually, stay true to the message that was in that wonderful inauguration speech. But as long as his Twitter exists, it's clear that inauguration speech was bluff and bluster and written. It didn't.
Written by Bane.
It was written by Bane. Yeah, I mean, these people wouldn't have listened anyway. The leftists wouldn't have listened. You know, they were out in the crowd and he was giving this wonderful speech where if they listened to the content, they might have took pause for thought about themselves. They were on their knees. No! Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? So anyway, right. right. Where am I going with all of this? I do hate his Twitter. Now, here's the thing. People have argued that he should be banned from Twitter, right? So
Probably not.
And I'm trying to find reasons why.
Is it the same people who try to sue him for blocking him?
I mean, just everybody, just everybody. Yeah, so first of all, they say every time he tweets about someone, because he has so many followers, even though he's doing it on his personal account, not the POTUS account, they also say he should be held accountable on his own personal account while president, because it counts as a form of communication between an elected official with the populace. So people try to sue him for deleting tweets and saying that should be illegal and a violation of his oath as president. People have tried to sue him for blocking people on Twitter. That's still ongoing, by the way. People have also said that if he tweets at somebody, so basically, like, let's say you're a guy with 100,000 followers and you go, this is why I hate Donald Trump. He was like, let's say you're like Kurt Eichenwald, who said he was that Donald Trump was in an insane asylum in 1990, and he's got proof of it that was given to him by a CIA mole. Never shown these documents, never shared these documents. Won't even go on the record publicly on Tucker Carlson and say that this is true, even though he's already said it's true. Let's say you're like Kurt Eichenwald, and you say on Twitter Donald Trump was in a mental asylum where he was treated with amphetamines to cure his psychosis. Let's say you're like Kurt Eichenwald, all right? If Donald Trump then tweets and goes, crazy Kurt and his tentacle porn is accused of being in a mental asylum, well, we all know that Kurt Eichenwald's box is gone. Ha ha ha, you sold all your stock. Look at the Dow. Fuck y'all. Now, what people say there is, not that Kurt Eichenwald has made an outrageous claim with no evidence and therefore should have to answer for it and Donald Trump should sue him. What they actually say there is that Donald Trump has attacked a journalist and Donald Trump should be banned from Twitter because he's violating Twitter's code. That's what they say.
Reasonable.
Right. So, as a result of that, people try to get him banned on Twitter. Twitter aren't banning Donald Trump. Donald Trump is Twitter. Love him, hate him. He is Twitter, the traffic he drives. We have to talk about Twitter in the news every day because Donald Trump tweets every day. Despite this, because Jack Dorsey, whatever his fucking name is such an absolute sniveling cretin, right? He has failed to monetize the biggest social media platform in a satisfactory manner, even lied to his own board members about the number of users that it has because they refused to ban bot accounts. He's allowed ISIS to openly recruit and celebrate terror attacks on his platform while banning somebody that said the bad thing. Right? He's failed to monetize this. Now, if you're telling me they can afford to ban Donald Trump, probably the single biggest Twitter account, and the reason we talk about Twitter in the news, their stock price would fucking plummet. It would be over. The board would have a mutiny. He wouldn't be allowed to be in charge anymore. Plus, the fact that wherever Donald Trump ended up at afterwards, let's just say Gab AI. I mean, I think it'd be crazy to go there, but what other alternatives are there? Some company would create an alternative to Twitter just to get Trump on it. Because that puts it over.
Him enough would be enough to create a fucking competition.
Yeah. Abso-fucking-lutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. So he ain't going anywhere. But then you see, he had this thing where he said, my button's bigger than yours with Kim Jong-un. He said that. He said, my button's bigger than yours. And if you've got a red button on your desk, mate, I've got a button and it's fucking massive. My button is fucking massive. Ladies love my button. Not like your small, tiny
rocket
button, right? So loads of people said, we've got him now. We've got Donald Trump now. We can ban him from Twitter now because he's trying to start a war and inciting violence. No, I swear to God.
Ban him on Twitter because he's starting world wars.
Yeah. We're gonna ban.
You probably shouldn't ban him if he's starting a world war on Twitter because I want to know what's happening.
Mate, here's the madness of it though. Is that your first priority? Donald Trump trying to start World War III. Got him now. Get him off Twitter. Mate, the nukes are coming. Yep, just 1 minute though. I've just got to write this report. Get to the shelter. No, I've just got to tell them he has violated report tweets. Add 5 tweets. Right, do I want to block? Oh, no, I'd have nothing to do. This
mushroom clouded.
Yeah, mushrooms. This is what you're fucking thinking about, right? While he tries to go to war with another nation. We've got him now. Here's the thing, though. If you were Twitter, would you even listen to these idiots?
That's worth
Would
too
you?
much money.
Right? Would you, though? I wouldn't, mate. I wouldn't. Well, Twitter do. Twitter took the clamour to ban Donald Trump from Twitter for maybe trying to start a war with North Korea, because it wouldn't be a world war. It would just be North Korea.
There'd be a few more countries involved. You didn't think?
Oh, South Korea have to get involved immediately.
Yeah, but then Russia probably going to go, hang on, what's happening around here? Why are nukes flying? If everyone's throwing nukes, I want to throw one.
Listen, Russia would publicly come out and go, American imperialism strikes again. This is why we hate America. Rustle up some anti-American sentiment, but actually, nah, because no one likes North Korea. They're a pain in everyone's balls. All they're good for is buying weapons, and unless you can get a quick sale through that's going to make them beat America in a war, which would never happen, you just go, yeah, you wacky Americans, but yeah, Kim Jong-un is a fucking prick. North Korea is a...
That's the thing, but everyone talks about how mental it is he's doing this. We are going to have to deal with North Korea at one point. Like, have you watched... That's another documentary. I was watching, like, the North Korean defactors, and they were saying how they're all just, like, all the mad rules. Like, people think they're all brainwashed. Nah, most of them just want to leave, but...
No, I do want to leave, but here's the thing. What do I do? How do I get out?
Exactly, get shot in the head on the way through there, go through a 400-mile fucking hike through China, whip it all the way around. If I go to China, they'll send me back to North Korea. Now I've got to go to Thailand. It's all this mental stuff.
There would definitely be a squabble afterwards with the land if America decided they wanted to stick a fucking base there. Because China and all the rest of them wouldn't want that. No. But then again, once China puff their chest out and go, America, I don't know why they talk like Fidel Castro, put base there. And that's it. End of conversation. America's never going to fuck with China.
Nah, it's not. Yeah, that's what people don't understand. Like, it wouldn't go to war over China because it's just not worth it, man. I'm not even talking about actual war. It's not worth a proxy war.
They don't even have to blow up America. Read about it. They've been stockpiling black market dollars and all sorts of shit.
Yeah.
They just hit you where it hurts. They kill your fucking money. That's that. It's
Have
all
you seen
over.
that's like one of the... I told I was watching North Korea documentary. That's one of the ways they suggested to deal with it. You airdrop like billions and billions and billions of fake North Korean won into the country. Because then suddenly the money's not worth anything. If Kim Jong-un needs to buy weapons, he can't do it in his own currency anymore. So he has to get another currency to buy weapons. Seems like a smart play, mate.
All right, mate.
I'm convinced on the money dropping scenario.
Have a tweet at Donald Trump, mate. Have a tweet at Donald Trump.
Oi, Donny,
right.
mate. Got it sorted. Get the printers rolling.
Donny Trump, mate. And the dreams in which I'm watching gorillas are the best I've ever had. Mad world.
Give them that hyperinflation, bro. Fuck the entire country, and then we're done.
Anyway, the point of this fucking segment, mate, is that because people try to get Donald Trump banned for starting a war on its inciting path, I can't. These people. If you have hashtag the resistance anywhere near you, fuck off. Your box has gone at this point, right? You are reaching, mate. Right? Reaching. So anyway, here's what they did. Twitter had to fucking issue a statement, mate. They issued a statement. Yeah, they responded to the fucking lunatics. Here's what it says. World leaders on Twitter. I mean, I think this is a bit of a dick stroke from Twitter, honestly. You even put this statement out like, look how important we are. But this is basically, we will not ban Donald Trump. So look, there's been a lot of discussion about political figures and world leaders on Twitter, and we want to share our stance. Twitter is here to serve and help advance the global public conversation. Elected world leaders play a critical role in that conversation because of their outsized impact on our society. Blocking a world leader from Twitter or removing their controversial tweets would hide important information people should be able to see and debate. It would also not silence that leader, but it would certainly hamper necessary discussion around their words and actions. We review tweets by leaders within the political context that defines them and enforce our rules accordingly. No one person's account drives Twitter growth, except Trump's, or influences these decisions. We work hard to remain unbiased lol, with the public interest in mind. We are working to make Twitter the best place to see and freely discuss everything that matters. We believe that's the best way to help our society make progress. Utter lies, utter fucking garbage. But of course, basically saying we will not ban Trump. We will not ban Trump. Trump will not be banned.
Because we like money.
So this actually turned into a fucking mad long hashtag the resistance episode. We're coming up to the 2 hours. I did want to talk about Logan Paul, and we've already missed the boat to talk about it. But I'm actually happy to talk about it because, first of all, we would always talk about something like that on the show. We're not one of these like, oh, where's the outrage today? Give me the clicks. It's like, say what you want about fucking Keemstar, right? People say, oh, Keemstar always does stories on Logan Paul because he's just a fucking vulture and he... Drama Alert does drama, and it does YouTube drama, and Logan Paul's a big YouTuber. Meanwhile, I've seen content creators I've never heard of that, like, you know, they make, like, ceramic dolls for a living. And then they come out. What I think about Logan Paul, like, come on, could you be any more desperate for fucking clicks, mate? Could you make it more obvious? But it's not my position to pick and choose who gets to talk about Logan Paul and who doesn't. But I think we would always talk about Logan Paul. And because we've left it so long, you definitely cannot accuse us of clicks. And it looks like we'll have to leave it for another episode because that is too long a story to get it. Because I've got all sorts of clips, mate. He's mental. He's another
yeah,
country.
have you seen the one of him running around Japan doing all that mental shit?
Yeah. So respectful of the Japanese culture. Love him. Love that guy. So anyway, let's do a couple of stories right at the end, some stupid stories, just to make everybody happy. Have a little laugh right at the end. And then let's go ban Donald Trump for trying to start wars again.
Agree.
Right, so I saw this one way back in December, and again, like a lot of stories, I didn't get a chance to fit it in. It was just before Christmas. Christmas happened, then I had work planning a major and shit, so, and New Year's, you know. But, right, have you ever heard of a company called American Eagle? They're like, I don't know. I'm trying to think. You know, there's kind of general stores like
they're a clothing company. Yeah. I think I have.
You go in and they sell like clothes and accessories, and it's all on a theme.
I think so.
So American Eagle, right, sell like, you know, shirts, bracelets, khakis, you know, that sort of thing, right? And just a fashion store, general fashion store. I don't know anyone who actually ever shops there, but whatever. But this story just blew my mind. They had a bracelet. It's a metal bracelet. You've seen these metal bracelets, right?
Yeah.
Where you put around and you put a screw or a bolt through them.
Yeah.
Seen those?
There's 11 those nowadays, isn't it?
Well, those are problematic, Sam.
Oh, why is that?
Because the metal cuff bracelet is actually a slave shackle.
What? No, it's
Yeah.
not. No, it's
It is.
not.
It is though, Sam.
It's not, though. It's
even,
not, though.
even though no one is enslaved in the act of wearing one, bring it up. Here it is. American Eagle had to pull metal bracelets because people complained saying they looked like slave shackles. You can see here somebody tweeted at them saying, I'm not sure this is the kind of bracelet you want to be saying. All it's missing is a chain. Right? Well, okay. Y'all selling shackles now? I mean, it's really...
You don't have to buy them, but they're accessories made of metal that kind of look a little cool. That's your point.
I saw this bracelet, and I think you need to revisit this. I would never wear this due to the obvious slavery connotation. I mean, I didn't look at that and think slavery. I'll be honest. I'm probably not woke enough.
It looks like a thing a goth would wear. You know what I mean? Like metal fucking... The spikes on the collar. They've got a bracelet, a nice metal bracelet.
So slave shackles are trendy now. And then anyway, American Eagle, because every company has to do this now. You've got to placate a Twitter mob. It's just because this is the process. The mob occurs. The mob doesn't have the power. The media that writes about it as if this is vitally important thing because they're desperate for clicks from that same mob. They have the power because then it's negative publicity. It might impact on our sales. And what if there was a boycott? No one ever boycotts. The mob on Twitter aren't going to boycott you because they aren't your customers. They don't buy anything. They're just outrage hungry losers that have nothing better to do with their time. It's recreational outrage. That's what it is. Their hobby is being outraged about anything they find on the internet that maybe doesn't quite sit right with them. And instead of doing what we all do, which is just suck it the fuck up and go on about our day, they have to get on Twitter and try and create a little furor. All desperate for clicks and likes and retweets, of course, because imagine if my tweet was the one that blew up and created a viral mob story, then everybody has to link back to my Twitter and I might get an extra 100 followers. Ooh! Empty lives for empty people. But anyway, American Eagle, they said, hey, we've heard and understand the concerns about the bracelet, which is in no way a fucking slave shackle. We apologize and will remove the product from our stores and websites. So that wasn't enough, of course. The apology was again on Twitter deemed to be, not enough. Oh, it's never enough. It's never worth your while to apologize. But anyway, that's fine. So there was that. But then, perhaps the greatest story of all time, Sam. Been looking forward to doing this on the show. Better than somebody heckling a robot, in my opinion. It's just the train wreck of modern Britain, isn't it? Like life in modern Britain. It has the single best headline I saw over the festive period. You all got to be ready for this one. Strap yourself in. And indeed, it's almost like parody for multiple reasons. This story was published on the 28th of December. People sent it to me en masse. I already found it myself. It is absolutely bonkers. Right, let's sync this, Sam. Bring it up, and I'll read the headline.
Man, go.
Woman rode motorbike naked, got fingered in the street, and punched. And punched a blind man. Wow. Modern Britain, ladies and gentlemen. Hilariously, the fact that this happened over the festive period, she was called Natasha Claus. I mean, it's hard to believe this is real. But apparently it is.
Mrs. Claus box has gone. It must have been a hard Christmas this year. Fucking hell.
Gonna be lonely this Christmas. Basically, Natasha Claus, newly divorced from Santa, went to pieces faster than a leper in a wind tunnel. She went out around Woking Centre. She was just riding around on a motorbike naked. Had a lewd sex act known as fingering.
I think you can all figure that one out.
Just in case. In the street, and then punched a blind man in an altercation. So I'll just read the whole thing. It's fucking solid gold. The judge, right? So hang on. A woman has been jailed and banned from entering Woking, a town in Britain, after she punched a blind man and was caught in the middle of a sex act in the street. Natasha Claus, 36, was described as a mess by a judge.
Oh man! Why'd you get roasted that hard by a judge? Like, you are a mess.
like I don't give a fuck what the jury's gonna say about this. You are a fucking mess. Bang my gavel.
Your box is all the way gone.
It's brilliant, isn't it? So anyway, the judge was described as a mess by a judge after she turned up to court 4 hours late.
She's just living her movie all the time then.
And was handed a 13-month prison sentence. The judge revealed she had also been caught riding through the Surrey town naked on a motorbike, but added she was not being sentenced for that particular incident. She pleaded guilty to outraging public decency after she was caught in the middle of a sex act that Judge Peter Ross said was no doubt for money.
Who pays to finger someone?
I'd say some stuff. Nah, let's not. I used to know a guy.
That was his thing.
I used to know this geezer, and he used to get with hookers a lot because he was fucking rough. He was rough, mate. He was gross, but he got with hookers a lot. But he used to always tell me that the thing he liked doing most was like just going down on him.
Playing a banjo. Going down on him. Having his cake and eating it too, like.
No, but it never did. Sometimes he just.
I never even had the cake. Set some of it.
Yeah. Just licked the plate a little.
Stuck some of the frosting.
I don't know, but he was sick. We didn't keep in touch. Didn't keep in touch after college. Anyway, so yeah, she pleaded guilty to outrage and public decency after she was caught in the middle of a sex act that Judge Peter Ross said was no doubt for money. Prosecutor John Upton said she was spotted in Goldsworth Road, Woking, being fingered by a man on July 29th this year. A mother with her 2 children asked her to stop, and Claus responded by threatening to punch her. When she was arrested at the scene, police said her jeans were pulled up, but her knickers were in her handbag. Mr. Upton told Guildford Crown Court that she was in the habit of befriending vulnerable men than taking advantage of them. Trouble flared when one of those men was threatened with being kicked out of his flat by the local council because of her antisocial behaviour. They argued together and Claus attacked him. Because he was registered blind, he couldn't tell if it was with her palm or fist. When being arrested for the attack, she assaulted 2 police officers, calling one of them, "That's racism, Sam."
Is it? Oh, I couldn't figure it out, mate. I was like, picky?
That's a bit of... Yeah, no.
I get it. Yeah, okay. Makes sense now. I was wondering why that word was blank, but now it all makes sense.
It's a BG, mate. Defense barrister Timothy Lee said she was addicted to inhaling butane gas. I can't do this anymore.
Fuck it. She's doing whippets, mate. She ain't even doing whippets. Whippets are CO2. Who sniffs fucking butane?
I don't know, mate.
I didn't even know that was a thing, mate.
What's happened to Britain, mate?
What's drinking petrol next?
What's happened to Britain? I can't. This story's just too much. I'm done. I can't. What is she doing? She's riding around the town centre naked, getting fingered by fucking blind men.
And her name's Mrs. Claus, mate. Straight ruining every kid's dream.
This is...
Who's that? That's Mrs. Claus, son. What's Mrs. Claus doing in that alleyway?
Yeah. Oh, it's just, please. Like, I'm glad 13 months, mate. It's not enough, is it? People like this have just got to go away forever, haven't they? I'm sorry. Like, this is when you realise, you know, like, those gulags weren't great, but maybe. It's too much. Anyway, look, it's got a happy ending, I guess. The judge says, because the judge fucking absolutely bodies her. The judge says any assault on a vulnerable person is very serious indeed, as is any attack on the police officers who we have a moral obligation to protect. The judge made reference to a further indecent incident, saying, I had the impression there was some reference to her riding round on a motorbike with no clothes on, but that was nothing to do with the charges today. He looked at her and said, you are a mess. Your life is a mess. I spoke... This is Judge fucking Dredd, mate. Judge fucking Dredd in the house.
Judge Judy, like.
You are a mess. Your life is a mess. I spoke to your son earlier, and it is a testament to something in your son's life that he's never been to court and finds this whole situation awful. I have made a criminal behavior order against you, restricting your movement and behavior. So there you go.
Is that like an ASBO, but for grown-up people?
Yeah, it's a very serious ASBO. Yeah. So, and then everyone claps.
Probably did. You were a mess. Your life is a mess, and you're fucking lucky your son in a mess.
Yeah. So there you have it. So do we end on that?
Yeah, why not? Seems like a good place to go.
Yeah, I can't, mate. Who are these people? Like, why? At what point? Like, she's not even on some like serious mind altering. Like you said, it's butane.
She might be though.
What on top of that? Don't you think that would have been brought up in the court docs?
Yeah, but maybe she ain't
First
bringing
thing
that up.
Do is defense fucking solicitor. You know, you would say like, oh yeah, my client isn't responsible for her actions because she's whacked out of her mind on heroin, in the hope that you get a fucking plea bargain if you go to fucking rehab. I said we're smoking weed.
Smoking ganja weed.
I can't handle it, mate. Britain is fucked. I'm so glad I don't live there. That's why I get so sensitive about people coming for my job. Don't take my visa. Don't make me go back. I don't want to
After
go
be back fingering Mrs. Claus on a motorbike for money.
I can't, mate. I can't do it. I can't do it. So anyway, yeah, that was this episode of the Richard Lewis Show. I promise we'll do the Logan Paul thing. We maybe might do a show tomorrow. What do you reckon? I was going to have a drink tonight, Sam.
What day is it? On Monday. Yeah, I can do.
Can you though?
Every
time we promise that, we never deliver anyway.
Yeah, well, maybe they will, maybe they won't. We'll tell them no, and then they'll be happy when they're in.
Yeah. What is it? Over promise and under promise and over.
Pay, yeah.
We were doing it the shit way around.
Yeah.
Fuck.
We're doing shows every day.
But yeah, we'll talk about Logan Paul whenever. So anyway, thanks to everyone who tuned in, subscribed, donated, and all of that other stuff. It's always good to get so many people in to watch the show. Hope it was entertaining. Hope it was funny. Me and Sam are up to do some butane. We'll see you on the next episode of the Richard Lewis Show. Bye.